matrix, expand our minds, and make us all think. We're going to just do a couple of invites here and let people in here. We got to do a quick invite here onto Facebook. All out. Well, today, do we ever have a topic to discuss with you guys today? It is a beautiful, beautiful day today, beautiful Tuesday out there. And we have always an exciting day planned, so I'm excited about that. Are you snuggling with my clothes over there and making them covered in fur? Yeah? All right. Well, good morning to you too. I guess that can happen. We're allowed to have that happen. Zena, you want to come up here and say hi to everybody? No one's even on here yet, but anyways, let's get going. If it is the morning, well, grand risings. If it's the afternoon, well, of course, we know that, time doesn't seem to be in the way of us, but good afternoon. And if it's the evening, good evening. No matter what time zone you are on, no matter what place you are on, it doesn't divide us. We are one consciousness. So therefore, the transmission is out there no matter what. And this is an important one this morning. We're going to discuss remembering what was never broken. Why the search for improvement keeps us asleep. And why are we always out looking for something to become? I'll become better. I'll fix it. I'll get better. I promise you. Well, there's more to life than that. So, good morning, everyone. Welcome. Morning has always been symbolized as awakening, not effort. Not striving, but seeing clearly. And by the way, we're not here, this morning to improve ourselves, fix ourselves, or become something better. But hang on a second, I'm going to do one more invite. There we go. Let our gang out. Couple more little invites. Welcome. So good morning, everyone. So mornings have always been symbolized as awakening, right? Not, waking up in the morning, getting a cup of coffee, doing the morning awaken routines. It's never been effort. It's not striving, but seeing clearly. You get up and you see the world now. So we're not here this morning to improve ourselves, actually, or fix ourselves, or become something better. Nope. I got something more installed for us. And you might be shocked to even hear that. But this is the real truth about everything. Do you want to know what we are here to do in life? We're here to question a belief so old and so normalized that most of us never see it. You see, the belief that something is missing, that the belief that quietly drives our entire lives. It sends us outward all the time into systems, relationships, religion, self-improvement, performance. Again, another layer of performance. And yet no matter how much we do, how sincere we are, how devoted we become to change, something still feels unfinished. So this morning, you guys, we're going to sit with that. Not solve it, but to understand it. So before we go any further, what I want to begin with is to share this morning. I've got just a reading for us all. A moment for us to go inward. I spent some time looking at the biofields of most of you and decided that we would say something collectively. Give this to all of us. So you ready? So as you're here this morning, you might notice some things different. Maybe even some movements yourself. You may feel alert, curious, or even open. Or you may feel tired right now, distracted or distant, resistant. None of that needs to be changed. So, you might even notice a subtle pressure right now. A sense that you should be doing more, becoming more, understanding more. If that's present, simply notice it. Say you may also sense something quieter underneath. A part of you that isn't striving at all. a part that has never been broken, improved, or incomplete. This reading isn't here to tell you who you are. It's only inviting you to observe what already has always been. How's it going? Morning. Psychology tells us that awareness alone can soften inner tension. Ancient traditions knew this long before we even named it. If your mind feels busy this morning, that doesn't mean you're failing. If it feels still, that doesn't mean you're arrived. Both are movements of life, by the way, and both are acceptable. You might gently ask yourself without urgency, what am I carrying that doesn't need to be solved right now? Or you could be saying, what part of me has been waiting for permission to just simply exist? No answer is required. Just notice what arises and take one slow breath with me. When we're ready, we'll continue. But we're not going to continue from striving this morning. Let's do it from presence. Just being, you know? Because what I want to speak of is, what I want to speak now from is lived experience. This is things that I've gone through myself. So let me tell you a little something about myself. So my entire life, I kind of carried a sense of not fitting in. I mean, besides the fact that I definitely am very different. That's why I was studied. But not socially, not emotionally, but existentially. I searched for this external world my whole life for acceptance, relationships, systems, religions even. You know, I thought belonging would finally quiet this feeling that something was even wrong, something was different. Instead, the stage just grew larger. Religion didn't remove the pressure, it only fucking intensified it, to be honest. And it felt like someone was always watching, measuring every thought, evaluating every action. And no matter how sincere I was, I never felt good enough, like I just didn't fit. See, in psychology, they explain this clearly too. Is when a child's internal experience doesn't match what the world reflects back, a fracture forms. And that fracture becomes the belief. So that fracture becomes that belief, and I need to become something else to be acceptable becomes the belief system. From that belief, the self-improvement loop is born. But here's the paradox. The one who feels inadequate is the same one trying to become adequate. And see, that loop never resolves. For me, difference wasn't abstract, it was embodied. Oh, you look like Harrison Ford? You know I'm known as, and research does known as a reflector, right? Do you know that is? I'm a reflector by genetic design. So I'm actually not designed like 99.99% of the rest of humanity. So that means when someone gazes at me and they come up with a thought that is a projection thought, it's theirs. It's actually how they truly feel about themselves. So usually it says that they're a person of insecurity. And so they will speak these things, and it's themselves. So I would refrain from doing that because it can be quite. You can damage yourself. And I'm warning you. I'm letting you know I'm a reflector by genetic design. So as long as you're aware of that, I mean, then just know that right now what you're spitting out publicly, everyone here is quite aware that these are you. So just heads up. I'm quite known for it. I studied, researched, interviewed for it even. Look me up. It's quite scientific. Anyways, so my body expresses uniquely. I actually have an energy field. It is strong, sometimes disruptive. I create what's called negative ions. The rest of humanity creates positive ions. That's scientific. Electromagnetic malfunctions malfunction around me, like electronics, light bulbs burn out, environmental shifts happen. Don't give me an Android phone because it don't work properly. Thankfully I had friends who were smart and worked for Steve Jobs, and so they did a little something with the chip that allows me to use the Apple product. So that's what I have to do in life. But anyways, science even later helped me understand myself and explained this part. I have what's called a genetic variance, electromagnetic sensitivities as well, and rare biological design. I'm not designed like other people. So only a fraction of humanity actually carries these traits. But instead of curiosity, the difference was feared. A lot of times growing up in my life, I was just different. It was feared. In the medical world, it was pathologized, and in religion, it was demonized. The way I perceived reality, always seeing beneath the surface, was called dangerous. In religion, they said it was witchcraft, deception, evil. And yet, I never once held a thought that sought to even destroy life or even be evil. My awareness always moved towards truth, coherence, and wholeness. But when I was busy trying to fit in and be this people pleaser, I wasn't moving in a modality that was mine, and so my energy was sporadic and everywhere and chaotic. And then it was even in the indigenous cultures actually even understood this. Thankfully, being First Nations helped me understand this as well. Being studied in the medical system helped me understand this as well. The first peoples didn't ask, how do I fix myself? They asked, am I in the right relationship internally and externally? Am I in the right environments for myself? Different wasn't corrected. It was initiated. You see? Let me check some of your comments if they're valuable or not. Yes, so there's nothing really valuable going on with this guy, so we're going to deal with that. All right, there we go. They can rethink their lives tomorrow. All right, so long before religion and self-improvement, humans knew something simple. The source was within. Australian Aboriginals elders taught that the dream time wasn't the past, it was the inner world. You've been using the Wonder Crystal and you felt a dramatic change with your anxiety. It's been helping me take care of my kids. That's great. It probably matches what your biofield needs. I would actually go and maybe look into the Wonder Crystal and see what elements is all in there. And then that might even help you break down to what you need even in your in your food environment, and even adding plants and herbals and vitamins and things like that that'll help you with that as well, because that'll show you what your body's requiring. Isn't that amazing? It's the bioenergetic field that it's affecting. That's so beautiful. I love that. And yes, crystals actually illuminate different electromagnetic fields. So with different types of blood types and different types of people, they will react in those matters. So that's a beautiful thing. So the Australian Aboriginal elders taught that the dream time wasn't the past, it was the inner world. And the Lakota spoke of the Metatakawa Asayunin. Hopefully I'm saying that right. All relations, not belief, but relationship. And early philosophers echoed the same truth. Hercules said, you will not find the limits of the soul, even if you travel even roads. So every road. Sorry, I said that wrong. Let me say that again. You will not find the limits of the soul, even if you travel every road, was the exact words. And Socrates didn't teach answers. He taught inquiry, know thyself, not improve yourself, not perfect yourself, know. And that's the thing we forget. We forget the knowing. Taoism taught woo-wee, effortless action. And nature does not strive to become better, it expresses. And through expression, balance emerges. See, religion introduced grace, but internalized it. Say the prayer, get baptized, believe correctly. But if grace must be granted, then unworthiness is assumed. See, the agnostic Christianity rejected this. They taught that the divine spark was already present. It was already within you. And salvation wasn't something earned or a prayer said, it was remembered. It was remember what the divine spark has always been. It was removing the veil and seeing the truth of our existence. See, in the Awaken trilogy, especially Return to Eden, I describe Eden not as a place but as a state of consciousness. The religion game became a deeper trap because it keeps the gaze outward instead of in. And the crazy thing is it says right then and there in their scriptures, the kingdom is within you. The one they've decided to put on a pedestal and worship said, I tell you the truth, it's not written in your laws, but you are all God's. Even watching without judgment can become another layer of distance. At least now you're watching the prison. But awakening isn't observation alone, it's integration. See, everything ended for me when I stood at the edge of life and death, what we believed is the end. And it became the beginning. When improvement no longer mattered, when belief collapsed, when survival was uncertain, I looked around the room, and the only question left was this: what is actually here now? See, if you can tell me, well, my grandma died with this piece on her face and this and that, and they said they were going to go see Jesus today and all of that, and it don't matter. You can do that because there is a piece that is there all of a sudden, but their questions are there. They really are. And it's just not often someone comes back to actually tell you the truth. So the only question that is ever left is this, is what is actually here now? Not doctrine, not performance. There was no one to perform to. What remained was awareness. It was just myself. Presence. Life itself. And it was internal. There was nothing external. Nothing was added. Everything false fell away. And it was just myself to gaze into a mirror. You must go in to get out. See, we're not here to become better. We are here to remember what was never broken. The external world was never the source. It was always the reflection. Awakening is not improvement. It is nothing more than a recognition. The truth is not found. It is discovered. When seeking ends, that is when it's discovered. Hi from Desmondville, Ohio. It is discovered when seeking ends. Sit with that this morning. What belief about yourself are you ready to stop fixing? That's the real question. So make sure you do one thing towards your dream every single day. It brings you one step closer. And make sure you recognize you're valuable and you matter and you're all unique puzzle pieces, a part of the ultimate puzzle of the cosmos. Peace and love. We'll see you guys tomorrow.